when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome to the Tobago Updates morning show. I am your humble servant, Biana Brebner. I know you are probably sitting waiting to see Adana Combi's face this morning, but I'll be your humble servant for the morning show. But before we go into the actual show itself, we'll head over to news in 90 seconds.
The news is brought to you by Standards. At Standards, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Here is your news in 90 seconds for Friday, July 12, 2024. The Tobago police are considering revenge as the motive for the July 8th quadruple homicide in Blackrock. Assistant Commissioner of Police Collis Hazer mentioned that the two individuals were being questioned in connection with the incident, which left Anselm Douglas, Gregory Hamlet, Samuel McCain, and Jamoki Duncan dead. According to police reports, a group of men were playing cards near a business in Blackrock when three gunmen approached and opened fire. The assailants fled the scene in a silver Aqua car. Investigations are ongoing. The 49th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM will be held from July 28th to 30th in St. George's, Grenada. The event, hosted by Grenada in the year of its 50th anniversary of independence, will occur 35 years after the signing of the Grand Anne's Declaration. The opening ceremony on July 28th will feature addresses from CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett, outgoing CARICOM Chairman Dr. Mohammed Ifran Ali, incoming Chairman Dickon Mitchell, and admission of Curaçao as an associate member. The ceremony will be broadcast live on CARICOM's social media platforms. Business sessions will take place on July 29th and 30th at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort. And finally, the Tobago Heritage Festival held its Miss Tobago Heritage Personality Competition 2024 last evening, featuring 7 delegates vying for the crown. Miss Kanika Macmillan, representing Betsy Hope, secured 3rd place, while 2nd place was awarded to Calvia Simpson, who represented Rhythmic Vibrations. However, Miss Amaya Yates, representing Lescato Village Council, was crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2024. Yates also won the People's Choice and Best Gong Portrayal. Congratulations to all delegates. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Yes, viewers, and welcome back to the Tobago Updates morning show. You may be wondering who's celebrating a birthday out there today. And first up, we have Miss Trixie Gray Clark. Yes, happy birthday to you, Trixie Gray Clark. I hope that you have a wonderful day today. Though the weather outside is a bit, rainy, stay warm on the inside. And happy birthday to you. Next on screen, it's yours truly. I'm not celebrating a birthday today, but my birthday will be tomorrow. So I'm also going to say happy birthday to myself in advance. All right, viewers, you may be wondering who are we going to be speaking with this morning. First up, we'll have Miss Anthurium Lewis, Bishop's High School student, who is the new junior Secretary of Tourism, and followed by Zion Craig, that's the C student who topped or was the outstanding Tobago C student, and after which we'll turn you over to Mr. Cricket, which is Mr. Marcus Daniel for sports. Right, we'll take a short break, but remember to share the live, share the live, share the live.
what's on my mind. It's who's gonna run this town tonight.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back, viewers. And on set with me this morning is the new Secretary of Tourism, Miss Anthurium Lewis. Welcome, Miss Lewis.
Thank you so much.
And how are you this morning?
I am well, and I'm glad to be here.
Okay, thank you for being with us. All right, so in terms of the competition that you entered from the Division of Tourism, Culture and Antiquities and Transportation, right? Tell us a bit about that competition.
So it's a competition that brings together students from 8 schools to vie for the position of Junior Secretary of Tourism. And the person that wins this is able to go to another country of the Caribbean and has a chance to become the Junior Minister of Tourism.
Okay.
So this is the Regional Youth Congress, where we further expand on the ideas we had here, except it's heard more, so it's broadcasted more, and these ideas are actually able to be implemented regionally and not just in Tobago.
Okay.
So it's a lot bigger than just Tobago. It's something that's boosting you to the outer realm.
All right. So in terms of motivation, who would have motivated you to enter this competition?
so many people. Firstly, I would say God. God is always number one, right? But I would also say my family, my school. Shout out to Miss Hackett. Shout out to Coach Patrick Welch, my archery coach, and my mother, Patricia Goddard, which is actually her birthday. So happy birthday to you, Mom. And I received a lot of support, mainly from family, from my teachers. You know, they overwhelmed me with love, and I think that was also crucial in winning.
Right, and it's the first time that the Bishop's High School is winning this competition. And what's the feeling like about that?
I'm elated because it's a history-making event, you know, and I'm glad to be able to go out there and represent my school, and it's a big moment, and I'm honored to be able to be given this chance to. Yes. All
right. So walk us through a bit about, you know, preparations for the actual competition. What was it like?
Oh, it was strenuous, but it was worth it. So I would have done a lot of research on tourism in general.
Yes.
So measures we can implement to improve our economy, to improve our country, things like this. So I didn't just cut short and say, okay, I'm learning things for my speech. I said, no, I'm going to win this. I'm going to learn extra. So when I actually become the Junior Secretary of Tourism, I will be able to represent well, and I would feel comfortable in my position. So I am glad to be able to do all of this. And also I had a lot of support from my school, Miss Hackett, from Bishop's High School, Tobago. Right? She assisted me in my speech as well as my family. They were a crucial part. So the moments where I weren't at school, I was at home practicing, you know, grinding on that information. And that it really boosted my my confidence.
Right. So in terms of your topic, how did you go about choosing your topic? Was it given to you or you selected it? Tell us about that.
So we had 4 topics to choose from. And I chose the blue economy. Hence,
and what's the reason why you chose that topic?
Right. So I chose the topic because there's a lot of events going on right now that it really demands a voice to speak about it.
Okay.
You know, the recent oil spill, that I'm very passionate about our marine life and our coastal areas. So it shook me up a bit, and I was like, okay, I have to choose this. It's the perfect opportunity. And I was able to speak on it. I was able to provide statistics and all of the sort. And I also came up with 3 main points for my speech, which was fostering sustainable growth of our blue economy, combating plastic pollution, and promoting a responsible tourism practices. So with these 3 points, I elaborated on them, and I was able to create a beautiful speech, I would say.
Yes.
And also the extra research I did assisted me in my mystery question, which was lovely.
So could you share what was your mystery question?
Okay, so if I remember clearly, it was, if you are Junior Secretary of Tourism, list 3 areas you would promote to enhance tourism in your community or your country.
And could you share your responses?
All right, so I'll give you a few points that I took up. So I also pushed a website.
Yes.
Where we can share our, our prolific tourist attractions.
Okay.
And on this website, we'll have a virtual tour.
Okay.
So with this virtual tour, without being there physically, you can know what to expect. So persons with disabilities will be able to say, okay, this is actually suitable for me.
Okay.
And so without actually going there and laboring themselves out and realizing that I wasted money, it's not right for me, you can know that.
So you can have an actual idea of the location before you venture there.
Yes, and on this awesome. It is.
Yes.
And on this same app, we can also have a travel package.
Yes.
Showcasing our culture through our heritage festivals and all of these other festivities like Blue Foods festivities.
Okay.
All of that. Right?
And
the final point that I would have come up with was to be partner with local artists like Nyla Blackman, all of these people, like Marshall. So
it's more for giving a bit of your culture as well as historical sites. The website will cater to.
Yes, because most youths are influenced by music. So you have to give points that people will actually listen to and that can actually be implemented. So it's not just you come in to talk. You have to say things
that will be realistic.
Yes.
Okay. So in terms of capturing the title of being the junior secretary, what are your roles and responsibilities like? Could you tell us about that?
Yes. So my main role for right now, I'm preparing for the Regional Youth Congress in the Cayman Islands, which will be early September. So I'll be representing not just Tobago, but Trinidad and Tobago at this Congress. And I'm hoping to win and be able to claim the title of Youth Junior Minister of Tourism. And once I do this, I'll be able to have a lot more outreach and be able to actually implement things in not just Tobago but the community. But as it stands right now, I'm also able to pitch ideas to Madam Secretary Ms. Tasha Grace Boris.
That's awesome. That's a good opportunity.
Secretary. Yes, it really is. And they are a joy to be around, I have to say. So all of this, and I'm able to also promote tourism on the island and attend different events. I actually attended my first event officially yesterday, which was the Miss Tobago Heritage Personality Show. It was wonderful, and it gave me a little glimpse into the things I have to do as Junior Secretary of Tourism. It is hard work, but it's worth it, and I'm looking forward to the tenure. Yes.
All right. Thank you, Ms. Lewis, for being on set with us this morning. And I know that you probably would like to say thanks to certain individuals. You have the opportunity now.
Yes. So, first of all, I would like to say thanks to God. Thank you for being here. Thank you for all the things that He has provided me with. Because some people call me an all-rounded student because I do almost everything. I do archery. I'm a child's rights ambassador. Yes, I do almost everything. So, and it's only thanks to God that I'm able to do these things. As well, I would like to say thank you to Trinidad and Tobago for actually listening to my voice and for pushing me and congratulating me on my win. It is very much loved, as well as a special thank you to the Secretary, Councillor Tasha Grace Boris, for her support, and Assistant Secretary Niall George, and the Administrator Julian Skeet. So they are all wonderful people. They all push me to do my best. They welcomed me with open arms, and I'm truly grateful for that. As well as I cannot leave out Bishop's High School Tobago, Miss Ramnarine. So she is also a big support, as well as my teacher, Miss Hackett, and my family. They are truly wonderful. Coach Welch, once again, Patrick Welch. He's my archery coach, and he also had a hand in preparing me for this event. So I want to say thank you to everyone, and I really appreciate it. And I will do my best. I'll put my best foot forward in this role, and I will represent you well.
Thank you for joining us, Miss Lewis. Viewers, stay with us. We'll be right back. But before we go, help me say, share the live, share the live,
share the live.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard. Nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will back it up. Make me happy whenever you come. You're very hard, fiesta, fun,
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, broke where you have, where you know about.
It's too early for that.
You are the good on.
They do, but then enough nine. Girl, who the club, girl, right?
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Got a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and I'm winding up on me man.
Dream. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special Wings Friday. 3 pounds wings, 2.5 kilogram fries. Special 100 TT Soup Saturday. 2 pounds cube beef, 2 pounds cow heel, 2 pounds chicken foot, 2 pounds pigtail, or smoked bone. Special $150. Super Sunday. 3 pounds leg and thigh chicken, 3 pounds sliced pork, 3 pounds lamb slice, 3 pounds cheese, 2 pack of pasta. Special $250. Located Main Road, Argyle, Tobago. We deliver 20 TT. Contact us on deltecdistributors.com 395-5040 or 237-0102. Deltec Distributors Weekend Special.
It's a different type of thing down there. And we party till we drop down there. With a lot of pretty girls down there. Down in Tobago.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Welcome back to the morning show at Tobago Updates Television. I am Adana Kumbi and thank you for staying with us. This morning we begin conversations with our guest. We're speaking with Zion Craig, and yes, she is the top SEA achiever for Tobago 2024 from the Patience Hill Government Primary School. Today with her is Daddy Jonathan Craig and Mommy Brittany Gay Liber McFarlane. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And let me start off by saying congratulations to you, Zion. Congratulations. Mommy, congratulations. Daddy, we're talking about being the top achiever for Tobago for SEA 2024 here on the island of Tobago. Of course, it must be an overwhelming and exciting and a joyous feeling. So we want to talk about the emotional aspect first as you got the results. How do you feel, Zion, being the, after competing with so many other children on the island, gaining the top position of your examination?
I felt very accomplished. And I was surprised, but at the same time, I knew that I could do it.
Wow. What made you feel so confident to know that you could do it?
Because I was always doing well in my classes. And when I did the exam, it wasn't that hard. I finished in the mathematics in about 35 minutes.
Wow. And how much time was allotted for mathematics?
75 minutes.
Wow. Wow. Okay. I like the confidence and the way you're just calm and collective here, just having this conversation casually. Daddy, how do you feel in terms of her confidence? She speaks so confidently, saying that she knew she could do it. Did you have that measure of confidence as well?
Well, of course. Of course. Zan has always been like that. She is always focused, always driven. So once she set her sights on a target, we knew she was going to accomplish it.
Right, and Mommy, she spoke about doing well in classes. Did she attend extra classes, and how was she able to manage, her schoolwork, extra classes, and probably social activities if she was engaged in any kind of community activities or groups? How did you see her being able to manage all of those responsibilities?
She did extremely well because she went to classes about 3 times per week, and then closer to the exam it was about 4 times per week. That's Sir Beckles' class in Bonaccord, and she was involved in other PAN and other activities in school as well. She did really well, but at the end she was getting a little overwhelmed because she was just ready to get it over and done with, but she really balanced it. She did better than I could ever even imagine. So we're very proud of her.
Okay, I'm sure you'd be proud as well. And Zion, I want to pick up on what Mommy just said, that coming down to the end, you kind of was just ready to get it over and done with because you felt in yourself that you were ready.
Yes.
And so how were those last days or maybe the last weeks leading up to the SCA exam itself, knowing that you were in a place where you are ready, you're prepared, you know you can ace this, and you're just counting down the days. What was it like for you internally?
Well, waiting for the exam to come, it was like, I don't know how to describe it, but it was very, like,
it probably made you feel a little bit anxious, like butterflies, like, come on, let's get this over and done with. If I could make a reference to Mommy, when you're waiting to deliver that baby, you know, you're like, oh gosh,
I know the final always
right, that's right, and you just want it to happen, so I could understand. And for you, in terms of balancing all your responsibilities, in terms of your schoolwork, because you have to do your work during the school hours, and afternoon classes, your homework assignments, your projects, that's right, your chores at home, and other engagement, because Mommy said you were part of a pan side. How did you balance all of that confidently? How were you able to say, you know what, my schoolwork comes first, but I can still enjoy these other things. I could still do, you know, participate in things and also uphold my responsibilities at home?
Well, for the homework given over the weekends, I give myself Saturday to do the homework. And for my classes, didn't really give any homework. It was just the booklet to do inside classes. And for PAN, we just did PAN practice inside school, so I didn't have to worry about that after school.
Wow, and you were able to do all your chores at home, help Mommy clean up the dishes and do what was necessary. You know, as somebody in your age, you know, these are the things that are expected. And you know what, this is really is teaching you how to balance. Because when you get into secondary school, you'd realize that the way they teach is different to how they teach in primary school. The demands are greater. And so that's why you have to do chores and you have to participate in other activities. And one thing I want to say to parents is when your child is doing SCA, try not to make the mistake of taking them out of all the activities and only focusing on school, because to me I feel as if, you know, it is doing more, that's right, and it's doing more harm to them than you know, than you think is good, because focusing on school alone can be overwhelming, it can be frustrating, and sometimes they just need a 5 minutes to take a break, you know, let me go and kick some ball along the road or play pan or something like that. So Zaya, know that you are the top SCA students on the island of Tobago, and how is your feelings and preparations in terms of heading into secondary school and being able to take on a new measure of work? How is your preparation mode? What do you feel like in your mind, in your heart, in your body? How do you feel to approach your secondary school?
Well, I know it's going to be much harder than primary school, and that I'm going to have to study a lot more than I did inside primary school, and I have to take it more seriously because the work will be more hard and it'll have more teachers, more subjects. Everything will be more harder.
And what is one of your favorite subjects, or what are the subjects that you are better at than others?
Mathematics.
You know, I was thinking you were going to say grammar, because before we came on set, ladies and gentlemen, we were having a discussion, and Daddy was saying you were correcting his grammar and his punctuation. You know, so I know you're good there as well. You know, so I really want to wish you the best as you prepare to head on to secondary school. As you said, you're going to see more people there, you're going to make more friends, and the competition going to get more. It's going to be stronger, bigger, you know, bigger fish to fry there. So, you know, I really want to encourage you to stay as focused as you are, Mommy and Daddy, to help her, you know, to keep focused, to create some type of schedule that she can stick to, that can help her to balance the schoolwork, the social engagements, the chores at home, because you have to maintain that as well, you know, and to have some measure of accountability, but also for her not to feel too stressed, you know, as she goes into secondary school. What are you looking forward to the most going to secondary school?
I'm looking forward to the wider variety of clubs to join. And I would like to try something new, like hockey or 4-H.
Wow, absolutely amazing. And you see, this is what we're talking about, the balance, a well-rounded student, and making her ready and prepared for what life will offer her, you know, what life has to dish out, because as you grow, life is going to make so many demands on you. So I like the fact that you're willing to be a part of so many other things as you grow. So, you know, from all of us here at Tobago Updates Television and the wider Tobago audience, we want to wish you the very best as you enter into your secondary school life. And of course, Mommy and Daddy, this also means that I have to wish you guys the best, because now, as we mentioned earlier in the conversation, we have to set up a more I shouldn't say strict, but we have to set up a more structured schedule for her, which means that you now have to lend more support. It might mean more classes in the afternoon. Homegirl want to join some clubs. So, you know, it's more management in terms of, you know, how we're going to get her through the 5 years or the 7 years of secondary school as she goes through. So, you know, of course, I want to encourage you to stay focused as well, because the demand's going to be plenty, having to do everything at home and getting her to clubs and school and the project. And let me tell you about secondary school projects, the SBAs and all the projects and all the demands that will come from that as well. So how do you see yourselves now managing a secondary school students?
Wow, this is our first time here, so we're going to learn as we go along. And we have 3 other children, so we have our hands full. But I know that we're a team and we always work together, and God is always first, so we know we'll get it done.
That's right. And you know, I want to share a little secret with our viewing audience this morning. And as you said, we're a team. While we were chit-chatting on set before we started this interview, we were having a little conversation, and I saw them, you know, they fist bump and they say, we're partners, you know. And so I know that you have this covered. I like the fact that you are in sync with each other, and that you are able to get the projects done. You know, you are able to balance how you're going to manage taking not just her, but as you mentioned, the 3 other children through their demands as well, because they too have demands at school and wherever else. So, you know, I really want to wish you guys the best. In closing, though, I want you to talk to our audience, because I know you mentioned you felt excited, overwhelmed, how would you like to encourage other students? Because, I mean, everybody couldn't be the top students, and we know that the students did their very best at the SCA. How are you going to encourage, before you parents, Zion, your classmates, your schoolmates, your other friends who did SCA, how are you going to encourage them as you all prepare to go into secondary school together?
Well, I know they probably already know this, but don't follow friends, don't give in to peer pressure. You know what is right, follow the rules in your school. You don't want to go to Hope Farm, so behave yourself. I know that might be difficult for them, but behave yourself and do what is right.
All right, absolutely awesome words of wisdom there coming from Zion this morning. And parents, how would you like to encourage, you know, the other students in school as well, even the in the communities, and even other parents, because now you're going to be forming a new network of parents as you head into secondary school. How do you want to, because sometimes the pressure might be on you, they'll be looking at you, okay, these are the parents of the top SCA, so, you know, how do you want to encourage them to be like, listen, we're all in this together as a community, the Tobago community, and we want to get all of our children at the top, you know, to be the best that they can possibly be where they are?
I would like to say, always remember that even though these exams are important, a grade does not define you. You, within yourself, you know your ability, you know what you want, you know what your drive is, what your focus is. Remain focused. Parents, your children, whether they're in preschool, primary school, high school, university, you are always their full source of support. It is your responsibility as a parent to always be there. No matter what you run here, and they just run you. This one here, tell me over and over. But mommy, miss say this. Daddy, miss say that. At the end of the day, your support is always important. You give them that confidence to do their best. Once you believe in them, they are going to believe in themselves.
Absolutely, absolutely. Words of wisdom there coming from Daddy Jonathan Craig this morning. As you know, he speaks to parents of children getting ready for secondary school, and to children as well, to remember that you are important and that your grades do not define you. There's so much more to life. Yes, put your best foot forward, but there's so much more to life. And remember that you are important, you are loved, and you have some measure of value wherever you are. Ladies and gentlemen, we're speaking with Zion Craig, the top SEA student for Tobago 2024, and her parents, Jonathan Craig and Brittany Gail Leiber McFarlane, this morning. Many, many congratulations again to this family, and we look forward to a bright future, not just for her, but for all of our children who are entering secondary school come September 2024. All the best to all of you. Thank you so much for staying with us, viewers. We have to go for a short break, but of course, before we go for a break, we ask you to help us. Share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning. Good morning.
Hi guys, welcome back, and thank you so much for staying tuned to Tobago Updates Television. Of course, it's Friday, talking sports this morning, and I want to say congratulations to Zion Craig. Of course, top student, SEA exam. Always good to see the parental support as well, and I want to wish her all the best in her secondary school career, and of course, future endeavors as well. This morning we're talking football. Yes, the Monster Mentality 7v7 Youth Football Tournament. It's happening this Sunday up there in beautiful Speyside. After Castara, then Speyside. I always put that out there that Castara is the best village in Tobago, then Speyside. Yeah. Then we go to Speyside, and Yaya?
No, you're not having that at all.
You're not having that talk?
No.
You're not having that talk? But I have two lovely ladies in studio with me this morning, Kenya Yaya Corner and Maylie Atin Johnson. That's it, right?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. We're not talking about the national women's football team this morning, right?
Thank God.
We're not talking about that. But I must ask you about what's taking place with you and your professional career. What's happening there?
As of now, it's on hold.
It's on hold?
Yeah, but after my tournament, then I'll have a better idea of what's my decision going forward.
You go back to China?
Absolutely not.
So there are stuff in the pipeline in terms of your professional career?
Yes, they are.
And you're not care to share that at this time?
No.
Okay, so let's look out for what's happening with you and your professional career. And what about you, Mia? Are you still actively involved in the football?
Recreationally.
Recreationally.
No, I just transitioned from playing to coaching now. My knees do not allow me to play at a high level.
So you say you have like a coaching academy?
No, I coach at a high school in the States.
Right.
So yeah.
Oh, so that's where you are based now in the States. So you're back here to support your good friend.
Always.
Always. I mean, tell me about this friendship and where it started and what has kept you guys together for so long, because obviously you played together for the national women's football team and you are now here, of course, supporting her with this football tournament on Sunday. What has kept this friendship together and when did it start?
I was with the national team at 14, 15.
Right.
I came on by the time I was 17 or so, and I remembered we played in a tournament in Canada, and we was in a group with the US for under 19, and I had a red card, so I didn't play that game.
Right.
And I was coming off the bench, and she just took that ball at half line and just literally run through the US team and scored.
Right.
You know, and from there, we just connected because I was the forward at the time.
Right.
And she came on this bright eye, bushy tail Tobagonian came on.
and just, stole all our hearts. So, and we just stuck together over the years, our mentality was the same. We just wanted to represent our country with heart and soul and compete and win games and try to, make the program bigger than it was. And we just went through trials and tribulations together, the good, the bad, the indifferent, and today we still stuck together. Yeah.
And how good a friend has really been to you?
Really good a friend, because sometimes when I'm down and out, I could always lean on her.
Yeah.
And I could go to her with anything without no hesitation, and she will always be there for me. And she's been there for me practically all my football career.
Right.
And we actually played on a lot of teams in the US together. We managed to always end up on the same team.
I like that. So like Batman and Robin.
Yeah.
I like that. So let's talk about this youth football tournament happening this Sunday, right? What role are you playing with the whole tournament, Mila?
I'm just the director of the tournament. Make sure everything goes on time, everything goes smoothly, and the kids have fun and just compete.
Fantastic. That's good. I like that you're a director. And in terms of preparation, how has preparation been?
Preparation has been really good thus far. I mean, nothing is always perfect. Hiccups in the way, but everything has been going along really fine.
Yeah. Registration still open?
No, registration is closed because the fixtures is already made.
I've asked you for the fixtures before you take the team, and I'll share the fixtures as well. And so tell me about how many teams are registered. We're going to get teams from Trinidad as well. Tell me about that.
Well, 50 teams has registered,
50 teams
from Trinidad. So yeah, basically 50 teams registered, 7 from Trinidad, and the rest from Tobago.
So we have 43 teams competing out of Tobago. Teams from Speyside as well? Yeah, teams from Speyside.
Monster mentality is there.
Right. I like that. So Monster mentality, it's now what, like an academy? Is it an academy?
So it's Monster Mentality Junior Football Academy and also Monster Mentality Foundation.
And this has been formed out of your football tournament, right?
Yes.
This is the 3rd year you're having it, right?
Correct.
All right. And so this term monster mentality, tell me more about the monster mentality and the idea behind monster mentality.
Well, monster mentality started way back when I was on the national team. It started from Yaya Monster, basically.
Right.
So we had this tournament in Indiana with the national team, and I came on for the bench not in Canada, but in the US. And I was doing stuff out there, and the manager was like, Gina James was the manager at the time, and she was like, we cannot call you Yaya anymore. We have to call you Yaya Monster. And that's how Yaya Monster came into play. And then after Kobe Bryant died, his name was Mamba Mentality.
Right.
I was like, I have a monster mentality, so I changed from Yaya Monster to Monster Mentality.
I like that story. I like this story, and I can understand the the reasoning behind it. Monster, because probably when you hear monster, you're thinking something scary in that sense, but I mean scary on the field when it comes to your level of play and your skill.
Correct.
And then obviously if you have that monster, and then you have the mentality, why not? And I'm hoping I'm sure that's what you guys are looking for on Sunday with all 50 teams. You're looking for that mentality from all the players, be it girls and boys. So tell me about how many female teams you have, because obviously this tournament put on by young ladies. I'm sure that you want to see some ladies play.
We do U17 division. It's always difficult with the young girls, football is now at that level for U9, U11, and U13. You really don't have much female team, so we had to make it a U17 to make sure that you have enough teams to compete.
Okay, so how many
we have 8.
8 in total. 8. And those any from Trinidad or all from Tobago?
Yeah, 1 from Trinidad.
1 from Trinidad. Is it that you invited teams from Trinidad, or when you announced that you're having the tournament, teams from Trinidad, they wanted to be a part of this program?
Team from Trinidad wanted to be a part of the program.
Yeah, and what has made this tournament attractive in Tobago's eyes? Because 43 teams to participate, that's a lot.
I mean, everything has been given to them free of charge.
Oh, that's why.
not really, but just the whole environment and the support from everybody, and the day is just full of like fun-filled activities, and kids gravitate to those stuff.
Right, and obviously, what are they going to be competing for?
trophies, medals, special prize, and something that we have in store that we can see on TV.
You want to give like a hint?
Absolutely.
so trophies, you're guaranteed to get trophies, you're guaranteed to get medals.
Yeah.
No cash prize.
Championship
jerseys as well.
Yes.
Are we gonna get some like a special, I guess, like probably a footballer, a national footballer or something like that? That's a special prize.
I mean, I won't say if it's special, but Jovin Jones always supports us. So normally he comes over and engage with the kids and stuff. So we always appreciate him for that.
Well, that's fun. That's fantastic. And outside of the tournament, you are trying to make it a day where they can rub shoulders. I mean, you are renowned in Trinidad and Tobago and outside Trinidad and Tobago. In fact, I think probably it can go as far as saying you are probably one of the most successful women's footballer that we have actually produced in Trinidad and Tobago. Sportsman of the year, how many times?
Trinidad and Tobago. 3 times.
3 times. And obviously coming there and participating in the competition and getting to see you, I'm sure autographs will be signed, pictures will be taken as well. Correct. How does that feel? How does that make you feel to come back to Tobago and give back to your community of Speyside?
Actually, it's a great feeling because when I was young, I didn't have that. And for the youths nowadays to look up to me and to come to me for advice, for autograph, even seeing me in the streets and asking me, when you're having this tournament or just coming to just sit and have a little chat to give them an insight of being a professional, going to college, being on the national team. So it's a tremendous feeling to know that there are youths out there that look up to me, and I still have to continue to make sure that everything is good with me so that they could still look up to me.
Fantastic. And Meili, I mean, you are coach now, right? You're coaching in the US, right? What's the main thing you want to get out of this tournament? What do you really want to see out of this tournament?
But honestly, for us, we just want to live out our purpose, by giving back allow us to do that with satisfaction. And we created that platform just for the kids to come out, have fun, enjoy. Yeah. I am connected with
I like
with an MLS Next team, and he always, the owner always come to me and say, hey, when you're going to get me some U13s, U15s,
I like that. Right.
But what's difficult for me, because I'm the director to make sure everything run on time, I don't really have time to look at much talent going on the day. But hopefully this year, I have that time to seek out the talented ones and hopefully be able to give them an opportunity to just see how it is playing away. I know what leaving Trinidad did for me. It gives you a whole different perspective on life. So I'm hoping that we can do that for one of the youngsters.
Yeah, fantastic. So, director of the tournament, what time we're going to start? Tell me about the format as well.
Yes. So we start 9 o'clock promptly. The games will start at 9:30.
9 a.m. Trinidad time or Tobago time?
No, I'm from Trinidad, but I don't operate on
Tobago time is like
TNT time. And, I think the teams have done an excellent job over the years.
Right, yes.
Because I have, made it
strict.
Yes, exactly. And we don't veer from it. You're not there.
For 9
the time your game starts, you lose by default.
Wow.
So we are serious about time because it's very important. We have teams from Trinidad that may have to catch a flight, right?
Yes.
So it's important that we run it on time. And yeah.
So and tell me about the format and the age groups that you have.
So we have U9,
right?
U11, U13, U15, and girls U17.
Yes.
U13 age group has 13 teams.
Right.
So they're going to be run a little differently in terms of who qualifies for the semifinals. We have 2 teams.
13 divided in groups, or they're playing like a knockout?
So they're going to have 3 age groups.
Right.
4, 4, 5. Because the one with 5 will have an advantage. If we did the best second place team, we're going to have 3 second place team playing a quick round robin to see who's going to make up the 4th semi-finalists. Okay. But in all the other groups, because they have 2 groups, 2 teams going to come out of each group.
Oh, right. So and in terms of, I mean, with so many teams, tell me about the layout of the Speyside Recreation Ground itself. I'm guessing that you're going to have like about 7 fields or 6 fields?
6 fields.
Oh.
So that is why we need to be very strict on time and organization, right? Because the only group that has 2 fields is the U13 because they have three groups.
And in terms of times, is what 5 minutes, 10 minutes?
12 minutes.
12 minutes per game.
Yeah.
So there's no changeover, or is it?
We're not going to do changeover, they say, because it takes away from So
I understand.
the advantage would be, hey, when the coin toss, decide which is the best direction to go.
So the estimated time of finishing is what's around 6.
Last year we finished around 5:30. Yeah, we normally finish at a good time.
Yeah. So and I'm just seeing 2 of you guys, right? 6 fields at 6 fields, and games will be playing simultaneously. You must have support somewhere we have volunteers as well.
We have some volunteers, and we appreciate them for supporting us and coming out on the day to make sure the event runs smoothly.
So what can spectators expect? Because if I come there, yes, I'm seeing talented footballers. Is there going to be entertainment, food, and different things on sale as well?
Yes, there will be a lot of food and stuff and that on sale on the day. We even have the barbecue.
Yeah. Barbecue?
Yeah.
All right. Well, no time to talk my thing there, man. Yes, barbecue and football goes hand in hand. Yeah. So you have barbecue, then you have entertainment as well. Any special guests?
No.
You're not having that. It's just strictly about the
we always go back and forth with it. She's more the outgoing one. I'm like, hey, let me stick to football.
So tell me about the support that you guys have gotten in terms of sponsors.
Oh yeah, that's the important part, right? We want to express our deep appreciation and love for our sponsors.
Yeah.
We got sponsors from Tobago Sport, the Ministry of Sport.
Right.
Radio Tambrin, Blue Heron. We have Massey's Foundation, NLCB, Poise Distributor, so many people. And most important, we want to thank the individuals who took, money out of their own pockets, whether it's $300, $1,000, $2,000. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and we look forward to working with each and every one of you next year again. Please, God.
Yeah, I want to big up these sponsors, because it's always a difficult task when you're having these events to really get people to put money. They might come and throw a little 2 cases of water and 2 cases of grated, but I can't take us as far because this is totally free.
Blue Waters,
they
they sponsor a lot of water, so we appreciate them.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Totally free because obviously marketing. Then you have to, nice jersey like that one there. Then again, you have a championship jerseys. Medals not cheap.
And everything free.
Everything free. And I like that. But then you mentioned that in your playing time, you didn't have such.
No.
But yet you kept,
or anyone to look up to that give back. Yeah.
And now you guys are making it easier for persons to succeed. I've seen an upsurge in women teams in Tobago. I think they have this Wolf League going on now, and we have like about 7 or 6 Tobago women team participating there. So I'm sure you guys would have played a part in that with the 3 years that you have been in existence, and I really appreciate the support that you guys are giving back to Tobago. You could have been in the US and liking yourself, you could have stayed probably, I know, let me talk about China. We could have stayed outside, but the fact that you are back here means that you love Trinidad and Tobago and you want to see Trinidad and Tobago do good. Our football get back to a stage. There was a time that we were looking like we were in a way. I think it was around 2014, 2012 when we were looking like we were beating people, and now I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, we did not beat the iron while it was hot.
You see?
And development costs money, and I don't think they're willing to put the money necessary to, create a successful program.
Yeah. What about the Tobago Football Association? Are they on board with this initiative?
No.
Or you haven't reached out to them?
I haven't reached out to them for
any kind of support. Okay. Well, we'll leave that there. Right? Any parting words from you guys?
I just want to say, come out, have fun. Come out with your scoring boots.
I
just compete and enjoy the day. Let football win on the day.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to what this special prize is about. I'm sure that the teams are looking forward to it as well. Just remind them time is starting and what to expect.
Well, we start promptly at 9 a.m., no later than 9 a.m., 9 to 5, and come there, see the monster, and really, it'll be a great day.
Fantastic. So guys, we've been chatting with Meili Atin-Johnson and Kenya Yaya Corner. It's all about the Monster Mentality 7v7 Youth Football Tournament happening this Sunday in beautiful Speyside, Tobago's second best village after Castara. Yes, but before I go this morning, I want to highlight a young man in the best sport after football. Yeah. I say after football, right? Orlando James, right here in Tobago. Did you know that he's the captain of the national under-19 cricket team? They are currently in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I think it's the first time we have had a Tobagonian at the helm of the under-19 team. If not, it's still an accomplishment. Orlando out of Backhill, Tobago. I know his parents, the community, very proud of him. I want to wish him all the best. Also, we have Kerwin John, who is the manager. He's from Tobago, the president of the Tobago Cricket Association, and Brian Brown, also from Tobago. He's the coach. Something to be very proud of as a Tobagonian, seeing that, obviously Trinidad with the bigger pool and Tobago getting in there. So I want to wish you guys all the best. And of course, bring back the goal, bring back the trophies. Guys, wonderful morning here in sport. I want to thank you so much. I'm going to throw you guys over to Good Morning Tobago with Natalie. But don't forget to share the live, share the live.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners and sponsors, and most importantly, our beloved communities, welcome to the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024. As we embark on the 37th year of this festival, our theme is We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. We are bringing back iconic events such as Yesterday's Children, Bell Manor Riots, and Courtship Codes. We want to highlight the importance of coming back to our roots, celebrating the people and the communities that make Tobago so special. Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we say, we come back to our true essence. We want to encourage each and every one of you to continue to support our cultural development and preservation in any way that you can. Your support is truly invaluable. Together, we can continue to make a positive impact that will be felt for generations to come. Thank you, and see you in July.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pride and excitement that I address you to officially launch the 2024 Tobago Heritage Festival. The Tobago Heritage Festival is not just an event, it is a journey back to our roots. This year's theme, We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. It captures the true essence of revitalizing the culture and traditions that have shaped our identity for generations. This year marks the 37th successful hosting of the festival, and we are proud to officially dub the month of July as Tobago Heritage Month, a time when our island comes alive with rhythms, flavors, and stories of our ancestors. The festival continues to offer an unparalleled opportunity for economic growth on the island. Every stakeholder, from local artisan and vendor to hospitality businesses and transportation services, stand to benefit. Our vibrant cultural displays will attract visitors, boost tourism, and provide a significant economic uplift to the island. The heart of this festival beats in our communities. We are empowering each village to manage its own productions to ensure authenticity and sustainability. The Tobago Festival Commissions Limited and the Tobago House of Assembly are here to support you, fostering an environment where our heritage can flourish sustainably. As we embark on this journey, let us celebrate the essence of Tobago. Let us honor our heritage and support our communities as we showcase the vibrant culture that makes our island unique. Thank you.
and hear me neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power. We are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers. We are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we're stronger.
And good morning, Tobago. Thank you to Marcus and Adana who started us off this morning. Brilliant as usual. And we are getting ready to go into our news in 90 seconds.
The news is brought to you by Standards. At Standard, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
Tobago police are considering revenge as the motive for July 8th quadruple homicide in Blackrock. Assistant Commissioner of Police Collis Hazel mentioned that 2 individuals were being questioned in connection with the incident, which left Anselm Douglas, Gregory Hamlet, Samuel McCain, and Jamoki Duncan dead. According to police reports, a group of men were playing cards near a business in Blackrock when 3 gunmen approached and opened fire. The assailants fled the scene in a silver Aqua car, and investigations are ongoing. The 47th regular meeting of the Conference of Heads of Government of CARICOM will be held on July 28th through the 30th in St. George's, Grenada. The event, hosted by Grenada in the year of its 50th anniversary of independence, will occur 35 years after the signing of the Grenad's Declaration. The opening ceremony on July 28 will feature addresses from CARICOM Secretary General Dr. Carla Barnett, outgoing CARICOM Chairman Dr. Mohammed Imran Ali, incoming Chairman Dickon Mitchell, and the admission of Curaçao as an associate member. The ceremony will be broadcast live on CARICOM's social media platforms. Business sessions will take place on July 29th and 30th at the Radisson Grenada Beach Resort. The Tobago Heritage Festival held its Miss Tobago Heritage Personality Competition 2024 last evening, featuring 7 delegates vying for the crown. Miss Keena Macmillan, representing Betsy's Hope, secured 3rd place, while 2nd place was awarded to Clavia Simpson, who represented Rhythmic Vibrations. Miss Amaya Yates, representing the Lake Etoile Village Council, was crowned Miss Tobago Heritage Personality 2024. Yates also won the People's Choice and Best Gown Portrayal. Congratulations to all the delegates. And that was your news in 90 seconds.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
This morning, viewers, I had the privilege to interview Miss Kamaria Kut-London, temporary senator, and we are going to learn how she became a temporary senator and a little bit about her. Some of you may know her, some of you may not. So now it's our opportunity to get to know her a little more. So good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
So let's get right into it. Temporary senator, how did that opportunity come about?
Well, I must say that, you know, having been a member of the People's National Movement for the past this year would make it 26 years.
Okay.
And I have worked my way up through the ranks from youth speaker at 17 years. I could not even vote.
Right.
And became youth officer, education officer, assistant secretary. You know, I came right up through the ranks. I've served on the highest level of the party, which is the General Council at National Youth League. And then I served again in another span at the same General Council as a representative for the Tobago East constituency. Also, I was just previously Lady Vice Chairman of the party as well. And you know, I guess through dedication and perseverance, hard work, I must say, you know, would have afforded me this such opportunity.
And tell me, how does one get that type of news? Are you called? Are you written? You know, tell us a little about that.
I got mine by a phone call.
All right.
You know, and I was so surprised because it's not something that I was looking forward to.
Yes.
At all.
Yes.
You know, I received a phone call last week, Wednesday, and, you know, to my surprise, I was like, no, this is a prank.
Yes.
And the young lady said, she said, I'm calling from the office of the Prime Minister to inform you that you have been selected to be a temporary senator in the space of Senator Avina Singh. And I was like, hello? Me?
Yes.
So my hands started shaking.
Yes.
And I was like in disbelief. And I'm like, me? You know, and it's like, you know, sometimes people say, you know, you've been working or you've been toiling in the field and nobody's paying attention to what you're doing. But, you know, with time, you know, these opportunities come along and I was so happy.
Right.
I am indeed grateful, and it really shows that hard work really pays off in the end.
And of course, you were temporary senator for the period, the 2nd and 3rd of July.
Well, from the 2nd to the 6th of July.
The 6th of July, okay. Excellent. And I must say, of course, being a woman, it is good when I see women, you know, having these opportunities and are able to represent, because we know in the Senate, I think it's like a ratio of 21 to 11 women or something like that. So it's good that they gave the opportunity to you.
Yes.
You know, tell us about the experience being in the Senate, having to go in the chambers, and you even contributed to one of the bills that were on the floor at that time. So take us through.
Well, at first, you go in. Well, in my situation, I had to wait to be sworn in by the president of the Senate, taking the oath of allegiance, and then after you are placed, you're seated amongst your colleagues, right, and you participate in the bill. On my first day, I was able to participate by a vote, right? My first vote in saying yes in support of the bail amendment bill. Right. And on the second day, whilst there, you know, and reading and stuff, I was sitting next to Senator Hislop and I started writing. So it was based on the whistleblower bill. And I know a lot of people could, you know, bear fruit to what the whistleblower bill is about, because even myself, you know, growing up in Roxborough, and you know, sometimes you may have little difficulties with neighbors and stuff, and I'm not bashing the police or anything, but you know, sometimes you may call the police to report the neighbor, and within a second the neighbor cussing you to tell you,
and that's one of the challenges of living in a small society where everybody's so familiar or maybe related
to somebody. So, you know, the whistleblower bill really came out in a time like this, and it's really critical because, you know, look, the crime situation going on, there are so many things that going on, and persons are afraid of coming forward to say, well, you know, I saw this, because fear of victimization, fear of violence, fear of all these different things. So the whistleblower bill here now really plays this critical role in encouraging individuals, you know, be brave, come forward, you see something, say something.
Right. So for our viewers, those of you who may not be aware, the whistleblower bill was first laid in 2022, and of course, you know, this these bills, there's a process for it to become law, and the government is aiming to put that in place so that people like you and I can be protected, you know, in our workplaces, in our communities, if it is that we have that information where it can lead to lessening corruption, crimes, etc. You know, we should be empowered and feel free to speak out without fear, as the temporary senator would have indicated, the retribution or revenge coming our way. But do you think that having that bill, when it's all put in place, that it will really change our mindset as a people?
I believe we would have to have, certain consultations still within the varying communities, because, persons will still say, me?
Yes.
I'm not taking no chance. So at the end of the day, I believe yes. However, there are still consultations to take place so people would understand the legislation for what it is.
Right, and I think even in when a lot of these bills or proposed laws are placed, many of us, if you don't do your actual research, you really don't know the content of it. So it will be good, because people need to understand who is being protected, what information is being protected. It's not that, if I just sell out my neighbor for stealing mangoes, I can go and be protected under that kind of thing. Because sometimes we laugh at these things, but it is reality. People have their own, their perceptions of how these things work. So that I think that will be excellent in the rollout, that the information is there for us as a people to understand. And as we bring this interview to a close, what I want you to encourage young women who are looking at, becoming politicians or even serving their country, be it a government senator, being there as an independent senator. Just encourage them.
All right. So I would say that, I always believe in nothing happens before it's time, right? That is a philosophy that I grew up on. And as I say, work hard. People always say you work hard to get the reward, but the reward will always come. Work hard. There will be people watching, be dedicated, be loyal, persevere to whatever that you're doing. And I have a Bible quote that says, Isaiah 60:22, that says, at the right time, I will make it happen.
Right.
And after God, it will happen.
Right. And of course, I have to ask, this is our very last question for you this morning. You held the position of, or title of, temporary senator. Is that something, if you have the opportunity somewhere in the future to remove that temporary and just be Senator Kut-London, are you open to something like that?
Of course.
Yes, and she said it with a smile. So let those who have ears hear, right? I want to thank you so much for spending time with me this morning and allowing our viewers to get, to see you a little more and understand the experience you had quite recently. At this time, viewers, we go for a break and we'll be right back.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise, the energy.
I'ma play some tune like this.
Don't worry, my wife will fuck it up. Make me happy whenever you come. So me you're very hard, fiesta, fun, fiesta.
This one is for the people and them who don't care what nobody else have to say about them.
Them none of cash, what you have, what you know about.
It's too early for that.
Too early, good on. The deal, but then enough line. Girl, on the club, girl, like. Nice.
Who's the one friend can drink all the alcohol no matter what?
Put a bottle and spoon and a cup in my hand and a winding up on me man.
Dream.
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
Coconut Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome back, viewers. I am Natalie Seeley Richardson, and thank you for staying with us on GMT. It's Friday, the 12th of July, and sitting with me this morning, following the temporary senator, is Senator Lawrence Hislop. It seems to be a Friday for senators this morning in the House. Welcome, Senator Lawrence.
Morning, Natalie. Thank you for having me. Morning, Tobago. Morning, Trinidad. How are we doing?
And of course, viewers, you know, anytime we have government representatives from whatever side, we have to talk about governance on the island, in Trinidad and Tobago. And I want us to start off just looking at a comment you would have shared publicly when the UNC senator would have laid a private motion, you know, referring to the government in terms of interfering with institutions that form part of our democracy and the independent offices like the DPP, and interfering with bills like the Freedom of Information Act. And you would have said that they were displaying hypocrisy. Tell us a little more what you meant by that.
Well, it was a private member's motion, which is allowed the fourth Tuesday of every month in the Senate. The motion was for the government to reaffirm its commitment to democracy.
Right.
And it was clearly targeted at stating that the government had an issue with independent institutions. And what I shared in the debate is that the UNC has a track record of attacking a couple of the independent institutions in the country. And the one that I singled out was the EBC, and made it very clear that the UNC has that track record of taking the UNC to court whenever an election result doesn't go a particular way. And that was the angle that I took in that debate. And they are coming to ask the government to reaffirm its commitment to democracy.
Right.
When, as I said in the debate, the PNM has always held true to the democratic tenets within the country, even in the structure of the party. And for you as the UNC to come and say that we are attacking a democratic, an independent institution, the point was made that your track record says otherwise. And I also made the point, and from articles, the words of the opposition leader and leader of the UNC, on their attack on independent senators.
Right.
That you are attacking independent senators for being who they are, independent. Because they felt, and the one that the opposition leader would have singled out would have been Senator Anthony Vieira SC, when he made it known that he was not happy with the way the opposition dealt with former President Paula Wemix in calling for her removal.
Right.
And he made it very clear as an independent senator that he disagrees with, and for that he was called a PNM stooge, somebody in the arsenal of Rowley's anti-democratic governance and so on. And so in the debate, that's the point I was making.
Right.
Yeah.
But isn't it, because I'm hearing everybody, but isn't it all of this is allowed, or we are able to go through all of this because we are in a democracy?
Yeah, because one of the points that I brought out actually is that based on the Constitution, we have fundamental rights that are that all citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are afforded. And the point I was making in that debate is, are we saying that the government cannot speak? Are we saying that if there is a concern by, and the point I made is that editors write, we don't know who editors are in the newspapers, they write anonymously, they make comments, and are we saying that the Prime Minister or ministers are not allowed to correct misinterpretations or misunderstandings of government policy? Even independent office holders, if the head of the Integrity Commission says something that the Prime Minister or ministers do not agree with, is it that they cannot speak? And one of your fundamental rights as a citizen is freedom of speech.
Mm.
And by you speaking, are you saying that you are being anti-democratic? Are you knocking democratic or independent institutions because you disagree? And that's the framework and just the foundation of our country speaks to the fact that if you are in a democratic society and you have the freedom of speech, it matters not who you are.
Right.
You should be allowed to say something,
right,
even if it is in defense or to correct what you may consider. Because we've had instances where newspaper articles, the media may have misrepresented something. And also one of the fundamental rights of Trinidad and Tobago is freedom of the press. And so the press can print, and responsibly so. And if there is a misrepresentation on government policy or something a minister or the Prime Minister has said, then it is within the right of that individual to correct the misrepresentation.
And some may say that hypocrisy surrounds us, because you see things change depending on who sits at the head. And, you hear even the banter right here in or Tobago space, depending on who says what, it may be right. If somebody else says it, then it's acceptable. So do you think, that thread of hypocrisy, as some may have that perception that it really doesn't matter where you sit, it's just all around us?
Well, and that's as Senator, and if I'm to quote or make reference to what Senator Paul Richards said. Senator Paul Richards spoke to the fact that should we be at the point where we keep attacking each other,
right,
or should we just across the board say what is required of all of us? and in all fairness, that is a position that can be taken. But as a member of the government, it is my responsibility in a debate of such to defend the government. And that is exactly what was done in my contribution.
And do you think, as you shared Senator Richards' perspective on the whole issue, do you think at any point in time we will really get to that point where, those charged with governing, because I always make the point as well that the opposition is part of government.
Yeah.
And it has been history where, the back and forth, because it comes from this side, it's not right. But when you are there, then you go along with it kind of thing. Do you think we can really arrive at the point where we see our leaders putting aside that tit-for-tat kind of attitude, even hypocrisy as we are talking about that, and really just govern? We're talking about the governance of the country. Just govern for the interest of the people, all people.
Well, one thing I must say is that what we saw, interestingly, what we saw in the last couple of weeks, or the last week of especially in the Senate, we had amicable agreements on particular legislation. And that is what the population calls for. That's what the population requires. So let's say, for instance, on the bail amendment,
Right.
which required a 3/5 majority, a special majority, the opposition voted with the government. And in the Senate, the opposition and the independent senators voted with the government because it was seen as a piece of legislation that was required for better governance in the country. The other issue, on the flip side, on the same day, we debated the whistleblower bill, as you spoke to
Right.
Senator London about. And the same goodwill that we had from the opposition for the bill amendment, we didn't have it for the whistleblower legislation. And it spoke to, and I think one of the points that came out, even in my contribution, is that a critical thing with the whistleblower legislation is that it is retroactive. And so we understood what was the UNC's position where that was concerned, that there's a possibility that there may be issues that would have arisen under their tenureship that can now be brought into question. And so it is for us as all leaders within the country to get to that place where there's a level of maturity, there's a level of understanding for the sake of the country. But on the other hand, or in addition, we have to also remember that there's an old saying that politics is civilized warfare.
Indeed.
But yes, but the responsibility is on all of us to be that type of leader that is required by not only Tobago but by the country. Yeah?
And I think we have to we the people must really hold our leaders accountable. And I often say, I don't think we understand the power we have as a people. We may talk it in our small groups, but we really have to let them know that, hey, we are the ones who are entrusted with the power or the ability to place you to govern this country. And you are really governing on our behalf. And again, you know, I always like to interject young people. What are we teaching our young people? And I must admit that things are quite civil in our house as opposed to when you look at what goes on in other countries when papers go flying across the floor and that kind of thing. You know, but this is what we have. And we have entrusted persons to govern and to put things in place. And sometimes when you see the back and forth, and again, the PNM political party is at the helm, but when they are in opposition, sometimes you see the same kind of, you know, just opposing for opposing kind of attitude.
No. Well, I could disagree to some extent to that because I could say that when Dr. Rowley became opposition leader, Dr. Rowley did something in this country that was never done by any previous opposition leader, which is to vote in favor of the government's budget and voted in favor of bills that were brought. And we have to understand that there is a role and function for both entities. It is not a situation where, and we don't expect, as the government, you don't expect the opposition to just support you carte blanche. You don't expect that. No. And that's the thing. Parliament is about debate and creating laws for the good governance of the country.
And somebody has to have that check and balance.
Yes,
well.
and there must
because
be,
it's there means everything is
correct.
okay with it.
And as I always say, one of the critical areas that we have in our country that a lot of the countries in the Commonwealth do not experience is this layer of scrutiny that we have called the independent senators. And I tell people, if you are a middle ground individual, you need a UNC, you need a PNM. Have a listen to what the independent senators would contribute on any given bill.
Right.
And it will give you a clear understanding on whether the piece of legislation that is brought to the Senate by the government makes sense or not. And a lot of the times when the bills come, you have independent senators who speak to the pros and the cons of the bill. They will share their concerns over particular areas in the bill,
right?
And they will say clearly whether they support it or not. when we get to the committee stage of the bill, you will get amendments coming from independent senators where their concerns are.
Right.
And that particular independent senator has to share what his or her issue is with the bill and why they would like this amendment. And there have been instances, a lot of instances, where the amendments that would have been brought forth by independent senators have been accepted by the government. And so it's not a situation where we don't want to hear. That's not how the government operates. And as I said, even in opposition, the PNM under Dr. Rowley would have supported significant legislations from the UNC, at the time the People's Partnership Government. And so there is this feeling that people like to put both parties in the same boat, and I disagree.
Right.
The People's National Movement has over the years showed that it operates differently when it comes to the governance of Trinidad and Tobago.
And if I were interviewing a UNC senator, they would also tell me, likewise.
Yeah, and fine. And that's just the thing about when you're treated with politics.
Right.
But as I have said, we have shown that over the years that the PNM has, if you bring something that is good, the UNC says it all the time, that they are about good law. But if the law, and this came out very forcibly in the whistleblower legislation, they are about good law. Independent institutions around the country, there's this entity that judges the country's corruption index. It just slipped me there.
Yeah.
Also, somebody like Anthurium, who is not a PNM supporter, who has attacked the PNM left, right, and center, or I shouldn't say attack, but shared concerns about particular things. The Tunapuna wider chamber, those are entities who came out and said the whistleblower legislation is good law, and the whistleblower legislation is required.
Right.
The independent senators also said that the whistleblower legislation is good law.
Mm-hmm.
And is required in an environment in Trinidad and Tobago that over the years we have said that we have corruption.
Right.
And so when you have entities that are they're not politically affiliated, that are saying that the piece of legislation is good legislation, and then you have the UNC saying, well, we don't like it, we not supporting it.
Right.
Then it says to you that this is not necessarily always about country.
Right.
But about an entity trying to protect itself.
And have the opposition come out and said exactly what is their issue with this bill?
No, what they've raised, so they've raised concerns that the bill doesn't protect whistleblowers, which is not so. You have two layers in the bill: one that speaks to protected disclosure, and one that speaks to unprotected disclosure.
Right.
The unprotected disclosure is a disclosure that is given by an anonymous whistleblower.
Right.
And how do you protect a whistleblower that you don't know?
If you don't, correct.
Right? But what has to happen, the information that is brought to the agency or the entity, the information has to be verified before that information can then become protected disclosure. So it's not a situation where I could just willy-nilly decide to blow the whistle on somebody. I have no evidence, but I just feel to do it. And the bill also protects the person in a situation like that who the whistle is blown against. So you have to prove that what you're saying is true.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's one of the concerns there is. And they also said that there's no framework for how entities are to set up these reporting units and so on. But all of that is clearly laid out in the legislation.
Right.
But what we got coming out of it is one of the significant problems that UNC has with the bill is because the bill is retroactive.
Okay.
And as I shared in that contribution on the whistleblower, I said when a government is willing to put itself under the microscope, because you are now saying I am putting a piece of legislation in place that if something happens under my watch, you could report.
Right. Right.
So when a government is willing to do that, you have these entities who are not political, who are apolitical, and are saying, that the Transparency Institute, that's the entity that just slipped me. But you have Transparency Institute who run these they bring out these reports on Trinidad and Tobago and its corruption perception index. And you have, they are saying that the bill is good bill. You have the Tunapuna Greater Industry and Commerce saying it as well as independent individuals. And so when you have those persons saying that what you're doing, the bail amendment, the police service has been asking for it for ever
Quite
since.
some time,
and so
yes.
and so these things are for the benefit of the country.
All right, viewers, we have to take a break, and we'll continue conversations with Senator Hislop when we return.
To a brand new dawning as the passion start to rise.
Get your quality furniture and appliances at Standards. Frigidaire gas range $599. Serta base and mattress $1,899. RC 50-inch smart 4K TV as low as $2,599. Yes, at Standard, nobody beats us on price. Believe it.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show.
Only thing that's on my mind is who's gonna run this town tonight.
Welcome back, viewers. We continue our conversation this morning with Senator Lawrence Hislop, and we were talking about the whistleblower bill. And before we switch gears, because I want us to talk a little bit about what's happening on the ground here in Tobago as well. But you mentioned, the whistleblowers are good bill and the importance of it, and so many are supporting it. But the opposition would, of course, raise certain issues. Yeah. One seems to be the fact that it's retroactive. But in terms of negotiation, since the bill is so good, is it that one may be willing to say, well, okay, everything else is so good, and if this is our stumbling block, our hurdle to cross in terms of making it retroactive, would consideration be given to take that part out, because we're trying to move forward as well? And if that may be the only thing, right, because there may be other issues and other things may come about. If one says, okay, that's the issue, your main issue, we'll remove it. We'll make that amendment because we really want this bill to be put in place. Is that something you think can be considered? We're talking about negotiation for the greater good here.
Well, the thing about it is that the legislation has already been passed.
Okay.
And we just awaited the president's sign off on it. Right. But if you require, so negotiations really take place if you require the support.
Yes.
And if the bill only requires a simple majority. And as I said, that layer of scrutiny, that is the independent bench in the Senate, right, gives you a clear sense of whether that a piece of legislation that comes to the House has significant problems. Because they'll highlight it, yes, they'll flag it, yeah, they'll speak out very forcibly, yes, against it if it is something that they feel is of detriment to the country. Mm-hmm. So in the House of Representatives, you're gonna have the back and forth between the PNM and the UNC.
Right.
But when you get to the Senate, where there is an expectation that the debates may be slightly different, you get a clear understanding of the bill from the independent senators. And that's why I brought up the point in the one that deals with democracy, that the opposition leader attacked the independent senators for sharing an independent view. And for me, that is a significant part of our governance structure that sometimes I believe we overlook. The voices of the independent bench, they don't caucus, they don't vote alike.
Right.
They vote independently. And we've had instances where the independents have voted with the opposition and have literally caused the president of the Senate to put a casting vote.
Right.
So this is not a group of people that should be taken lightly in terms of the governance structure of our country.
And I really appreciate you sharing with us this morning. I want us to look at crime because, of course, it is the hot topic. We see the very fabric of Tobago changing, literally, well, some may say overnight, but I think the workings were in quite before, and maybe some of us were not just paying attention. But really, the violence with guns and how easy it seems for people to be gunned down in Tobago. You being Tobagonian, how does that make you feel? So we're not just looking at you as senator, but this is our wee boy. How do you feel? This is your home, and you're seeing these changes.
Yeah, it doesn't sit well with me. It doesn't sit well. It's frightening. It is saddening that this is where we've come to as an island. That we know at what? We know at 15 murders for the year. And it's touching people in a personal way, people who you know. And the reality is that we are in a state now where it could touch you as an individual.
Yes.
And so it doesn't feel good. It doesn't. When you hear people asking you, what's going on in Tobago, boy? You have Tobagonians who are abroad who are saying that they had plans to move here, to move back home when they retired, and now they're revisiting those plans. It's not a good feeling, because that's not something that we are known for. Back in the day, you'll get maybe one murder in 10 years. Somebody do like somebody, and the tool of choice at the day used to be a trisim. Used to be a punya. But now you have a situation where guns are easily accessible. You have a culture, and that's one of the things that troubles me, is that we have a gun culture.
Right.
And that gun culture, you wonder if it is the music that plays into that, if it is the lifestyle of the gangster that is glorified, and it redounds to in our own families and our own societies what we are allowing to happen.
Right. And I remember having a conversation with Mr. Richards, and we spoke, very briefly about that, because one may say the TTPS has this responsibility, but adults have children, and they have that responsibility to raise their children a particular way and create a safe environment. And yes, we know when that child grows to an adult, he or she will choose their path. But if you ingrain strong values, there are some things that child just would not lean to. Is it that we have failed as a people? Have we failed as parents? Are we now more permissive? And, what's really going on? Because the TTPS comes in, yes, and they can maybe step up patrol, they can implement all these lovely programs. But if we, and I'm saying we because I'm a parent, if we don't do what we are supposed to do, and we leave our children to be raised by YouTube and all the other distractions there, have we failed then?
Because the truth is, crime is a result of a lot of factors.
Right.
No criminologists, but one being social challenges. And there has to come up a time when we take responsibility for our own action. Because the truth is, you can't predict a murder. The police doesn't have. I know there was some years ago there was a movie where there were these entities called precogs that could literally see a murder before it take place, and there was this unit that would arrest you before you committed the crime.
Right.
Science fiction.
If it was that easy.
Yeah, science fiction at its best. So the police, we don't have the ability to do that. But the decision to kill somebody with a gun, the decision to kill somebody, period, boils down to the individual.
Right.
Who sees that as the only choice, the only avenue? And we have to ask ourselves the question, when are we as a people going to take responsibility for where we are as society? When are we as parents going to take responsibility for what happens in our homes and then in our communities? Because the murderers and the gangsters have families.
Right.
They come from families. They come from homes.
Right.
And where did we drop the ball?
Right.
That's what we have to ask ourselves the question. And if we've dropped the ball, not if we've dropped the ball, how do we then recover from where we are?
And I think that's the $1 million question. How?
Yeah.
And of course, people come up with various answers and methods to the how. And I want us to go back again because I think the whistleblower, you tell me, and advise our viewers in terms of the whistleblower bill. Does it protect now someone like this if we're looking at crime, or does it not? So if it is I'm in a family and I have a member who I know is in these activities, but I'm really fearful for my life. I'm willing to talk, but I need to be assured that I will be protected.
But
does the whistleblower bill come in there, or is it that there's something else in place? Because I know people are often protected by the state, and that can go another way.
Well, the whistleblower bill is really catered to treat with white-collar crime.
Okay, right, and that is what I wanted you to clarify for us.
It is targeted,
right,
to treat with corruption and activities coming out of
and
corruption.
not these criminal,
and not necessarily criminal offenses.
Right.
So, but you have agencies you have entities that are set up. You have something as simple but effective that has been effective throughout the world. Crime Stoppers, where you can report a crime anonymously.
But some of us are not convinced that it's anonymous, because somehow we figure somebody could pull up some record or do something and find out who we are.
But is it that this is only unique to Trinidad and Tobago?
No.
Right, because Crime Stoppers is a worldwide initiative that has worked throughout the world, and I believe in some instances even in Trinidad and Tobago. So I know that's the fear that people would have, that fear. But where do we draw the line between living in fear and then making a decision that the one thing that I could do could make a difference in my community?
Yeah, because we are living in fear regardless. Because if you can be just walking in Scarborough 7 o'clock in the night and somebody's opening bullets at some unintended target, and you are just probably trying to get home, and you get caught up in a crossfire.
So where do we, the truth is, and that's right, where do we draw the line as people? The statement that says, if you see something, say something. Where do we draw the line? Do we just accept the fact that we're going to leave the issue of crime to the police?
Right.
How many patrols? The patrols can't be inexhaustible. The foot patrols, the car patrols. In crime it's been proven that you treat with crime or from a standpoint of getting information. And yes, the police have their role to play with intelligence-driven policing and so on, and do their targeted raids and targeted patrols based on particular areas. But the truth about the matter is that somebody knows who's the trigger man.
Right.
And there is and that is frightening, that there is such a level of loyalty within the gang culture.
Right.
That supersedes loyalty in the citizenry.
Right. So is it that the gang, those who are running these gangs have been able to indoctrinate these younger members and teach them what quote unquote, I'm using it very loosely here, love and family is about, so that now these new members are staying true and loyal to these guys.
And I think that is exactly what it is. That there is such a family knittedness, if that's a word, within the gang culture. And the loyalty supersedes loyalty to anything else and anybody else. And we have to ask ourselves, are we going to allow a minority to be so knitted and be so connected to and committed to criminality that we allow them to have us living in fear?
Right, to have that power.
Because that's the truth about it, is that those who are involved in criminality are in the minority.
Yeah.
So are we going to allow the minority, because they're so committed to their criminal activity, that we're going to allow them
right.
to run roughshod over us?
And you would have mentioned, of course, there are many contributing factors to why crime exists.
Yeah.
We're looking at what we as parents, as a people, have to play in fostering this type of activity. I want us now to look at those placed in that position to protect and serve.
Yeah.
Because crime also happens because of opportunity. And if there's an opportunity for easy access of the guns, then we're going to use it.
Yeah.
So where does the TTPS, the Coast Guard, those empowered and those with that responsibility to protect and serve now come in? Because we've seen in other countries, when you remove the guns from the streets, there would be a decrease, at least for some time, in the crime rate. So is it because these young men and women have access to guns? And sometimes when you see police make the raids, you're like, where on earth did they get those firearms from?
And that's the thing. Everybody has a responsibility. The government has its responsibility. Agencies of the state, the TTPS, Coast Guard, has their... And you see, it all boils down to, again, individuals. The human element is what is the common denominator in this.
Right.
And there has to be a level of commitment from all of us, arms of the state, the government, and the citizenry.
Right.
And I just want to remind people that 800 tips is the number to call if you know something.
Right.
And
I just want to share, because, and that's why I said I wanted to use the term. It's not the right term when I said love, because we know that's not love in terms of the gangs.
Yeah.
And I want to read one of our viewers, Rodney Piggott, because he said, no, there is no love. There's fear and conditioning, where rewards and punishment are used to keep soldiers in line. And I think he has really captured the essence of the structure.
Yeah.
Because, even within the gangs, if I step out of line, they will get rid of me.
Yeah.
I'll get a bullet to my head.
Yeah.
So it's really the conditioning and fear to keep the members in line.
But you see, they also look at individuals who are vulnerable.
Yeah.
So they'll target...
Soft targets.
That's right. They'll target the younger ones, young men or even young women as well, who come from families that may be struggling. And so that's why it's a wide issue when it comes to crime.
It's really a lot of parts.
Yeah, there's this socio-economic aspect of it that is critical, and opportunity for. But then there's one of the things that I think we also downplay is the fact that we have individuals who like things done, or who like things the quick way and easy.
Yeah.
And so there are people who don't like to work hard. And we may say, but what is the government doing for young people? But when you have a Ministry of Youth, a national service that has been rolling out programs after programs to attract our young people away from a life of crime, there has to be that desire within an individual to say, I want something better for myself.
Right.
And it's not just about getting things quick. And so they'll obviously target persons who are vulnerable, young men and young women who are vulnerable. And it goes back to the issue in the home. And where do we stand as families?
And it's also important, and as I mentioned, some people may say this change has happened overnight and may want to blame government, blame THA, whatever, entity. But it's really, it started a while ago. Cultures are changing, mindsets are changing. And as you mentioned, anytime I think of Tobago, I've always thought of Tobago as a very progressive group, hardworking, industrious people. They know they're going to build a house. They ain't taking no loan. They're working. They have their money. They work hard and they build their house. They send their children off to universities abroad, etc. But as you said, there's this mentality now where you may have a group who keeps that mindset because it has been handed down, but just generally driving through different villages. I mean, they talk about blocks. Every village has a block. And if you drive through during the day, you smell the weed, you see the guys liming. And sometimes I would ask, where are the police officers who live in the community? Do they talk to these young men? Do they just turn a blind eye? That's not my problem. Where's the community policing where you break up the block? If every time you pass through here and the block is there and you break up the block, yes, they will move, but you go after them too. You make life hard for them, just as they are making life hard for others.
Because you see, we grew up. Remember back in the 80s, there was a culture called the barrel child.
Mommy or daddy away, and you just send everything and granny raising the child.
That's right, and those are and then there's also this belief. Unfortunate as it is, there is a belief in our own communities that there are parents who say they don't want their children to work as hard as they did.
Oh yes, I've heard that. I don't understand it, but I've heard it.
And that, I believe, is one of the biggest challenges we have.
Mm-hmm.
So, as the society progresses, yes, things are going to become a little easier.
Yeah.
Things are going to be more convenient. You don't have to go to the standpipe in the morning to get a bucket of water.
Right.
But as a society and as parents, we have to recognize that we have to give our children some form of responsibility. I know growing up, we used to have a timetable for chores. That timetable stick up on the wall in the house for chores. You couldn't sleep past the time the sun comes up.
Right.
You had to get up.
Right.
You had to go. You had to be outside. You had animals to see about, chickens and goats and all kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You had responsibility for something. I remember even when I was in primary school, we had this huge rough lemon tree, and my grandparents, my father's parents used to go around in this Suzuki carry selling produce, and my father told me, he says, that rough lemon tree is yours. And every Thursday evening, it was my responsibility to pick rough lemon and get it to my grandparents for them to sell.
Right. But I hear you, and many of us would say, but that's a long time thing. I'm not growing up my children like that. They now have opportunities and privileges that I didn't have. So sometimes we tend to parent a bit softer.
And that may be one of the biggest challenges we have, because we're now moving away from something that would have worked.
Right.
And I'm not saying that it was a perfect system.
Right.
But when you give the young person responsibility, the devil does find work for idle hands. So if you're engaged in something productive, where are you gonna find time to? But you see, we at a stage now where we want it easy.
Right. And Senator, it's exactly after 9, and I know my producer is telling me it's time to go. Maybe we should have started this conversation first, because it really is never ending, and I really want the powers that be. And when I say the powers that be viewers, I'm talking to persons like you and me, because we have that power. We really need to take back what belongs to us. It's a minority. We have to, follow through. We have to understand that there are avenues. The senator shared 800 tips. Systems like this do work. Yes, we may be fearful. You may not want to walk into Scarborough Police Station, Mariah Police Station, and report it in person, right, for obvious reasons. But there are systems in place where you can remain anonymous. And, there are so many things for us to consider, because one may also introduce the conversation in terms of the justice system. Is it really when people are caught, are they really being punished? And then those who may have a little petty crime end up in the big yard and learn tricks from the more seen. And it could go on and on.
It could go on
but
and on.
I want us, I want you and I to understand that we have a part to play. And though we may call on the leaders to do their part, call on yourself, call on your family members, your neighbors, your churches, wherever your community is, and really decide to stand up, because we can't continue. Tobago's a legacy for our children, our children's children to come as well, and this is not what we want for them. So let us stand up. We make noise for everything else. A little thing happen and it's all over social media. Where are the calls and the cries, you know, for us to stand up and really be true Trinbagonians and take back our island? This is ours. We can't let a few bad apples spoil the whole basket that we sacrifice for. So viewers, that's my call to us this morning. I want to thank the Senator for his time and for sharing with us this morning. It is Friday, as I always say. And before we go, I just want to share something with you that came in. And it is from Kitchen Creole Restaurant and Bar, and they present their Summer Breeze After Work Lime, and that starts today. All right, so it's ongoing from 4 p.m. So every Friday, I believe, you have an after work lime. So if you want to cool down, start your weekend, notice it's after 4. So those of us who like to leave work before 4, the after work lime starts at 4. All right, so you see the information up on your screen. Kitchen Creole Restaurant and Bar presents their Summer Breeze After Work Lime starting from today every Friday. So that's something you can check out if that's your thing. So it is Friday. We begin the weekend. As I always say, remember to stay safe, and thank you for joining us on GMT this morning.
We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number 1. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed partners and sponsors, and most importantly, our beloved communities, welcome to the Tobago Heritage Festival 2024. As we embark on the 37th year of this festival, our theme is We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. We are bringing back iconic events such as Yesterday's Children, Bell Manor Riots, and Courtship Codes. We want to highlight the importance of coming back to our roots, celebrating the people and the communities that make Tobago so special. Get ready for an unforgettable experience as we say, we come back to our true essence. We want to encourage each and every one of you to continue to support our cultural development and preservation in any way that you can. Your support is truly invaluable. Together, we can continue to make a positive impact that will be felt for generations to come. Thank you, and see you in July.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is with immense pride and excitement that I address you to officially launch the 2024 Tobago Heritage Festival. The Tobago Heritage Festival is not just an event, it is a journey back to our roots. This year's theme, We Come Back. Back to our communities, back to our villages, back to our true indigenous heritage presentations and productions. It captures the true essence of revitalizing the culture and traditions that have shaped our identity for generations. This year marks the 37th successful hosting of the festival, and we are proud to officially dub the month of July as Tobago Heritage Month. A time when our island comes alive with rhythms, flavors, and stories of our ancestors. The festival continues to offer an unparalleled opportunity for economic growth on the island. Every stakeholder, from local artisan and vendor to hospitality businesses and transportation services, stand to benefit. Our vibrant cultural displays will attract visitors, boost tourism, and provide a significant economic uplift to the island. The heart of this festival beats in our communities. We are empowering each village to manage its own productions to ensure authenticity and sustainability. The Tobago Festival Commissions Limited and the Tobago House of Assembly are here to support you, fostering an environment where our heritage can flourish sustainably. As we embark on this journey, let us celebrate the essence of Tobago. Let us honor our heritage and support our communities as we showcase the vibrant culture that makes our island unique. Thank you.
Last year, October 2023, the island tilted. The peaceful bliss of sea, sun, and sand was transcended as we took to the streets to revel in paradise.
Such a nice place!
Tobago Carnival right here. We're gonna leave it and we go right down.
It's the greatest, it's the best, it's safe, and it's beautiful.
I love Tobago, baby. Coming back next year. Hey!
Playing pan on the streets is a magical experience. When the band strike up, it's rhythm, steel, and powder. This is Tobago Carnival, Pan in Paradise.
Tobago is the best.
Tobago Carnival is the new home for the legend of Calypso. Where else can you get sweet Calypso music that gives you that nostalgic feeling?
Soca Titans is we title, is we monarch. We built artists from scratch who can perform with the best. Real Titans of Soca.
When last you've been to a party, plenty women looking so nice. We must be in paradise.
This year, ritual takes on new space and dimension. Traditions will be reimagined, breaking free and taking on new meaning on the road.
I love the energy!
This year, the revelry is bigger and better. More colors, more meaning, great packages for the masqueraders. Tobago Carnival is freedom.
This year promoting safety in all events for Tobago Carnival. This year promoting whining, not minding people business. This year promoting clean fun, security and freedom.
Freedom to be any version of yourself that you choose to be with love and safety. Here, you have permission to be you, uninhibited and free.
So what you waiting on? This year, this October 2024, experience the ritual, revel in paradise, release yourself. From the greatest little island on the planet, this is the Tobago Carnival 2024.
You're viewing Tobago Updates Television, your exclusive gateway to Tobago, broadcasting the beauty of this island paradise to the world.
Barred from Harmon's SDA grad dinner, attorney at law weighs in. Bishop's High School students excel at virtual stock market. PDP leader not sold on security meeting between PM and Chief Secretary, and conversations on child labor continues with a consultation at Magdalena, Tobago. Good evening, I am Bianna Brebner. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Thursday, July 11th, 2024. Now to our top story. For yet another year, hairstyle breaches have prevented students from attending graduation celebrations.